Tonight, both Minnesota and Wisconsin's governor announced new initiatives to combat the spread of the coronavirus and make life easier for residents of their states.
And we take a look at how those on the front lines of the pandemic are preparing to respond.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. More COVID-19 related deaths are being reported in our region tonight. The UP reported their first death, and Minnesota health officials are also reporting an increase in the state.
In Minnesota, 2 more people have died. State officials did not immediately share the age or location of those patients. This comes as the state saw another surge in the amount of cases today. Statewide, a total of 4 people have died from the virus. That's according to the state's health department. Meanwhile, in Michigan, Gogebic County reported its first COVID-19 death this morning. Health officials say the patient was an elderly man with underlying health conditions. As we reported last night, Iron County, Wisconsin also saw its first death yesterday.
This comes as Douglas County saw 8 more cases confirmed today. Health officials say 5 people tested positive and 3 are family members who are symptomatic and presumed to have the virus. Dozens of people who were in close contact with the 8 people are also being monitored for symptoms. Health officials have not released ages or locations for any of the people. Here's a quick look at the number of cases around the region. Michigan saw an increase of more than 800 cases since yesterday. They now have nearly 3,700. They also saw 32 more deaths since Thursday, bringing the total in the state to 92. Wisconsin is now at nearly 850 cases with 14 deaths. And in Minnesota, there are now nearly 400 cases and, as we mentioned, 4 deaths. In the United States, there are now more than 100,000 cases and 1,500 deaths. Worldwide, there are nearly 600,000 cases, 27,000 deaths, and nearly 133,000 recoveries.
In response to the outbreak, President Trump has signed the massive Phase 3 stimulus legislation that could put cash in Americans' pockets as soon as next week. He's also taking action to compel one major U.S. automaker to step up production of medical equipment. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill, where the House's road to passage also hit a speed bump.
With the stroke of his pen, President Trump signed into law the more than $2 trillion bill to tackle the health and economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic.
I want to thank Republicans and Democrats for coming together, setting aside their differences, and putting America first.
The package gives up to $1,200 directly to most working Americans, expands unemployment insurance, provides hundreds of billions to businesses both big and small, and delivers immediate financial relief to hospitals.
I object on the basis that a quorum is not present.
Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie pressed for a recorded vote on the measure.
I came here this week to make sure our republic doesn't die in an empty chamber by unanimous consent.
But party leaders got the bill over the finish line with a voice vote.
The motion is adopted.
President Trump bashed Congressman Massey's objection on Twitter. He also used Twitter to call on General Motors and Ford to produce more ventilators. Ford says it's pulling out all the stops, and GM says it's working around the clock to meet the urgent need. But Friday, President Trump invoked the Defense Production Act to require GM to prioritize federal contracts for ventilators.
We had a deal for 40,000 ventilators, and all of a sudden the 40,000 came down to 6,000. And then they talked about a higher price than we were discussing, so I didn't like it.
President Trump says he's still assessing ways to get parts of the country back to work, but his top health officials say the data will determine those decisions. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, Minnesota's governor signed 4 executive orders today, giving more flexibility to critical industries around the state. Governor Tim Walz discussed the orders during his daily briefing. They do things like ease financial reporting deadlines for municipalities and lift hour and weight restrictions for commercial drivers hauling livestock. Another gives doctors and nurses the ability to delay education requirements and extend temporary permits. The governor says it's an effort to relax requirements for a short time to meet specific needs.
We will not cut corners to put people in unsafe positions, but if we can facilitate and speed up, which we should always be trying to do, but especially now, that's exactly what we're doing.
The governor's stay-at-home order goes into effect at 11:59 tonight, giving the state time to prepare for a spike in coronavirus cases. The Emergency Management Commission says they're actively surveying sites to set up additional hospital space.
Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers said today with the upcoming spring elections, he's urging the state legislature to approve sending every registered voter an absentee ballot so they can vote safely in April.
This isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. This is an issue that faces our democracy. I don't care who gets the credit. I just want to make sure that everyone has a chance to cast their ballot.
Evers added he would like the ballots to be considered valid if they were postmarked by the date of the election. All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, sounds like we might have a nasty system on the way.
Yeah, and it's almost hard to fathom because it's so gorgeous out there right now. Here's a live local look at what's going on up in Effie, where I hear the famous Baron von Raschke of the AWA still lives in retirement. Gorgeous up there, blue sky, snow is retreating, but snow might try to increase tomorrow. There's a big, juicy Colorado low lumbers its way towards us from, of course, Colorado, bringing upwards of an 80% chance for a rain-snow mix both Saturday and portions of Sunday. So the sunshine we have right now will go away. Clouds will increase tonight. And here's a look at the forecast then for the weekend. I think a lot of parking lots by Sunday morning are going to look like that one there. The clouds return tonight, low temp near freezing. Saturday, sloppy snow very likely, especially closer to the lake, high temp 40. Sunday, morning mess, giving way to some clearing in the afternoon. I think that may set us up for a pretty decent Monday, which we'll talk about with a 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has temporarily suspended evictions and foreclosures amid the COVID-19 outbreak. The order prohibits landlords from evicting tenants for all but one reason. That exception is if the tenant poses an immediate threat to other people. Wisconsinites who are able to continue to meet their financial obligations are urged to do so. Evers stressed the order does not mean you do not have to pay your rent or mortgage.
Our first responders here in the Northland are on the front lines of this pandemic. That means serious changes to the way they work and care for you. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with one paramedic about what they're doing to flatten the curve and save lives at the same time.
As COVID-19 continues to spread, Mayo Clinic ambulance services are continuing to go out on calls and caring for patients. Now they've instituted some new changes, which are in the form of new safety precautions. Kate Arms, assistant supervisor for the Mayo Clinic ambulance services, says they are changing the way they approach scenes, how they screen patients, and how they protect themselves. She says patients may be asked the same question several times relating to the symptoms of COVID-19. If a patient answers yes to any questions, they'll be given a mask to prevent any spread. She says paramedics are also practicing social distancing, standing 6 to 10 feet away from patients when they can while wearing their PPE. Arms says this is all to keep themselves healthy so they can continue helping patients, not to scare people or make them think they don't care.
We're still making multiple patient contacts a day. Yeah. So that's why the PPE is so important, because it helps mitigate that risk from patient contact to patient contact.
Arms says they aren't worried about their supply of PPE, but it is on their radar. They're taking inventory of supplies every day. Arms says there are 14 Mayo Clinic ambulance service stations throughout Minnesota and northwest Wisconsin. So if a station is running low on gear, they are able to help each other out until a new shipment comes in. Arms says they are following the CDC guidelines and any precautions the Mayo Clinic Hospital provides them. And she tells me that they have been given 80 additional hours of sick time to use during the pandemic if paramedics are to get sick.
Thanks, Emma. Starting Monday, all St. Louis County Courthouse and government services centers will be closed to the public. The courts will still hold certain hearings. If you need to be there, county officials say they'll send you instructions. You can still access other county services by phone, email, or online. They're expected to be closed through April 10th.
Duluth-based Cirrus Aircraft is temporarily furloughing a number of employees amid the COVID-19 outbreak. Company spokespeople say the move is in response to uncertainty and the economic disruption caused by the virus. The company says it has started an orderly slowdown of their operations. Cirrus says impacted employees are receiving compensation support and health care coverage during the furloughs. The company did not give an indication of how many employees will be impacted. The company employs 1,600 people across 4 states. And a heads up, the skywalks in downtown Duluth will be shutting down for the next 2 weeks. It's part of Minnesota's stay-at-home order. The skywalk over I-35 will remain open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. It gives essential employees access to the deck parking ramp. The full skywalk system is expected to reopen on April 13th.
As directed by the Minnesota governor, Lake Superior College and the entire Minnesota state school system will hold some classes on campus starting next week. According to an LSC spokesperson, those classes will include certain aviation, healthcare, and technical classes that require lab work regulated by outside agencies. LSC officials say they expect to have 5 students or less in the lab at a single time, and those students will practice social distancing. They also say 99% of LSC's classes will be conducted online.
The Fond du Lac Tribal Chairman is directing members who live on the reservation to stay home. In a post on Facebook today, Chairman Kevin Dupuis says because they're indigenous, tribal members with underlying health conditions are at higher risk for coronavirus. He's asking people to stay home except for essential activities and especially to limit travel outside of the reservation. He assured band members tribal government work is still happening via conference call. The order goes into effect at 11:59 tonight and lasts until April 10th.
This year's Dylan Fest is canceled. The event, which celebrates singer-songwriter Bob Dylan's Northland roots, was supposed to be held in mid-May. Organizers say preparations are already underway for 2021. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, you may have noticed quite a few teddy bears around your neighborhood lately. We'll tell you about the nationwide effort behind it coming up.
Some towns did beat 50 degrees today for top temps. Duluth got oh so close at 49. I still think it's on our docket later on. First, a step backwards temperature-wise, as snow chances come for Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about them coming up after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Thirsty Pagan Brewing is open for delivery and takeout. Stay safe at home and let us deliver dinner to your door or get a pizza and a growler to go. Thirsty Pagan Brewing, 1615 Winter Street, Superior, and thirstypaganbrewing.com.
Ever since we opened Culver's, community has meant the world to us, especially in times like these when the going gets tough. That's why we're keeping our drive-thrus open, continuing to cook every meal to order as if you were a guest in our home. We want to be here for you, today and every day, sharing our smile and safely serving with all our heart. Caring for you and your family, it's our pleasure. Together, we'll get through this.
Get a great deal on the Kubota L-Series tractor. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. With a powerful Kubota diesel engine and dependable gear or HST transmission, it's ready to take on your toughest projects. Get an L-Series tractor for 0 down and 0% APR for 60 months, plus save up to $1,600.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
Hi, I'm Duluth Mayor Emily Larson. This is an unprecedented time in history, and it is time for us to come together as one community. Please take time to listen to this really important message.
On behalf of St. Luke's, Essentia Health, the City of Duluth, and St. Louis County Public Health and Human Services Department,
we would like to request that all residents stay home, if at all possible, until March 27th. Even if you're healthy, stay home. If you must go out, please try to limit your interactions to 10 people or less.
We are working with our state and federal partners to evaluate this time frame, and we will provide you an update as soon as we can. If you have mild symptoms, we are asking that people please stay home. If you feel that you need clinical care, we are requesting that people please call ahead to the hotline, your doctor's office, urgent care, or the emergency department before going in.
Together, we can do this. Thank you for your cooperation.
Hi, Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz here. We're in an unprecedented battle against the COVID-19 virus. The state of Minnesota is doing everything possible to keep you safe, but we need your help. We need you to stay home. Flatten the curve on COVID. Let's get through this thing together.
Come Monday night, I'll be saying the weekend was way, way too short. And the work week is going to be a long one.
I'm so tired, I'm going to cry.
You cry like a girl.
What I need is an hour of laughs.
He's my friend. Best friend. Slow down a little bit, Dave.
It's a full hour of funny. The Neighborhood, followed by Bob Art's Abishola. Monday, starting at 8/7 Central on CBS.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Large Colorado low pressure system is plodding towards our region, and it's setting us up for a couple of advisories here for the weekend. Starting tomorrow, winter storm watch for lakeside counties, both North Shore and South Shore. And then getting closer to the shoreline in this turquoise color here, that's a lakeshore flood advisory. We're going to have fairly heavy rains, pretty stiff winds, and that means there could be some flooding troubles right by the shore that folks will have to watch out for. We'll show you a chart on how much snow is expected here, and frankly, with the numbers I was thinking last night have bumped up a bit, and I'll show them to you in just a tiny touch here. But right now we start with the current conditions at the airport in Duluth, where it's still a gorgeous day and a nice warm temperature of 49 degrees. You wouldn't think it would be cool enough to support snow, but that indeed could happen come tomorrow. Relative humidity 52%, south-southwest wind, it's going 8 miles per hour. The air pressure dropping off, now down to 1,011 millibars, 29.87, and that's of course because of the Colorado low that's coming to call. Temperature-wise, today turned out to be pretty nice. Still 49 in Watersmeet, 51 in Ironwood, but cooler by the lake in Ashland at 40, 52 Hayward, 50 Solon Springs, only 38 for Superior. Low 50s Moose Lake. 30s and 40s here for the North Shore, and then towards 50 again inland in Minnesota. Warmth like this may step back for both Saturday and Sunday as that storm system rumbles through. But by Monday, I think 50 is doable again, though it may be the last time for the week ahead. After Monday, things will start to cool just a little bit. Well, beautiful blue sky today thanks to high pressure in place from the UP through Wisconsin into Minnesota, but now clouds are on the increase here, coming up from the southwest in advance, of course, of the Colorado low. Our higher pressure cell will slip away. The low will get closer, and for Saturday, the chance for a rain-snow mix stands at 80% and likely will bump up to 90% come Saturday night. Right now, it looks like Saturday itself may be more rain than snow, but once it cools Saturday night into Sunday morning, then I think it's going to become more snow than rain, and then probably go away come Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, the low will migrate. High pressure settles in to bring us back dry conditions. Will we have to snow blow? Well, depends on if you want to wait for it to melt off naturally on Monday or not. Snow totals likely will look like this. Inland areas, maybe not such a bad deal. Trace to an inch, maybe 3 if you push it a little bit. Bottom line is it's going to be a little bit heavier for lakeside communities because of lake influence and could run 3 to 6 inches there. Wet, sloppy, heavy stuff. Well, I do think it will melt off fairly substantially by Monday, but not tonight. Tonight's going to cool and clouds will increase. Low temps in Minnesota go 26 inland to 35 by the lake. In Wisconsin and Michigan, low temps there, 32 by the lake to 37 inland, and we all get increasing clouds as the low comes close. Tomorrow's daytime high temps, Wisconsin, Michigan, 40 to 46. 80% chance beginning in the afternoon for this mixed business to come across. And it's an 80% chance in Minnesota as well. High temps there, about 40 to 42 degrees, 44 degrees inland. A little bit cooler by the lake. North Shore could start to drop, at least briefly. All right, the extended forecast. The precip's possible Saturday, Sunday, but there we go. There is the beautiful day of the bunch, Anthony. Monday, 50 degrees and clear to partly cloudy, though another round of rain showers could strike Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with temperatures slowly decreasing down towards 40.
Hey, you know, we've all got to stay inside anyway, so I guess if we're going to stay inside, a gloomy, rainy mix, you know, to just bundle up and read a book or watch a good movie next to isn't
Very
so
good
bad.
point. You know, I've got a snowblower that may not be great with snow, but it seems to throw slush pretty well.
Hey,
so,
there you go.
Yeah, I can make some use out of it here.
Silver linings, that's important right now.
Indeed, it costs enough. I may as well get some use out of it.
Thanks, Dave.
You've probably noticed a lot of bears around. But don't be alarmed, we're talking about teddy bears. It's a countrywide effort to bring joy and happiness to children while under quarantine. CBS3's Leanne Valdez spent the day on a bear hunt and has the details.
Thousands of families around the country are on a hunt to find these guys.
Inspired by the book We're Going on a Bear Hunt by Michael Rosen, families are putting stuffed teddy bears on their windowsills, doors, or even porches in the hopes kids will want to get outside, go for a walk, and count them up. Janelle Worms from Hermantown took her 2 little girls out for a hunt recently. She says they were super grateful to be able to find joy, even in times like these.
We are on a joy hunt in the midst of this too, of how we can share joy with others and how we can find joy in the midst of times when we maybe feel anxious.
During my bear hunt, I found 20 teddy bears, but to a family we spoke to earlier this morning over in Proctor, they found over 200.
A lot of you sent in a picture of your teddy bear display, and coming up tonight at 10, we're going to show some off. Stay tuned. Kelly Hinseth is coming up next with sports.
Charge your phasers for Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Find heroes and icons only on My 9.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Prep the suit, I'm coming in.
Don't you want to know who's behind the mask?
Despite all the darkness, despite all those who doubt, I choose hope.
Batwoman, Sunday at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
To those who are on the road and keep our warehouses and stores stocked, those cooking the takeout orders and who help us in the store, those who keep things clean, and those who answer the call and keep us safe. We know these are trying times for everyone. So thank you. We're all in this together and appreciate your dedication.
Understanding the world begins with the right questions.
Do you trust Kim Jong-un?
Doesn't the blame reside with Jewel? Is it now our top terrorist threat?
With the right people.
So you have forgiven.
I have now.
Right here.
Check this out.
More news.
I'm Tony DeCoppel with CBS News.
More original reporting.
It puts everything in perspective. We are on a mission with NASA.
Every morning on CBS This Morning.
We're going to begin with breaking news.
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire. And there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Kristen Vaki, as a fellow Iron Ranger, brings a calmness to our team where she's unflappable.
Kristen Vaki is one of the most respected anchors in this market.
I think her passion for journalism runs really deep in her.
Kristen is the real deal, a pleasure to work with, and you can always count on her.
Get to know Kristen Vaki, weeknights on Live Local CBS3.
When news happens, CBS3 is there.
The smoke is still really heavy. You can smell it.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm. Anytime, day or night.
And while this is a very active scene, the public is being asked to stay away from the area.
Good afternoon, I'm Kristen Vaki. We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news out of Cloquet this morning. CBS3 first got word of this fire and went to the scene at around 3:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3. Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinseth.
It's Friday. We've spent the last 5 days talking about Scott Perunovich, and there's no better way to end the week than to talk about Scott Perunovich. As of today, the Hibbing native
is the 11th Hibbing native to turn pro. Perunovic agreed to terms to an entry-level contract with the St. Louis Blues today. The contract is 2 years long. He was originally drafted in the second round, 45th overall at the 2018 NHL Draft. His college career began in 2017, where he posted 36 points, 11 goals, and 25 assists as a freshman, earning the NCAA's Tim Taylor Award, which is awarded to the top collegiate rookie, while leading the team to the 2018 NCAA National Championship. The next season, Perunovic was named the NCHC Best Offensive Defenseman for the second consecutive year and guided the Bulldogs to another NCAA championship. As for this year, Perunovic led the NCHC in scoring this year. He's the first defenseman to ever do so. He also topped the conference in power play goals while racking up 43 block shots and a +12 rating as a junior. And a reminder to fans that they can take part in voting for what would be the 6th Hobey Baker Award for UMD, as Scott Perunovic has made the top 10 finalists. Hoping to move on to the next round, you can vote at hobeybaker.com/vote. Winner of the award will be announced on April 2nd. Scotty is the second UMD men's hockey player to sign an NHL-level deal following the abrupt end to their season. His defensive partner, Nick Wolf, officially signed with the Boston Bruins last week. The Eagan, Minnesota native, served as a co-captain alongside Hunter Shepard this past season after a season as an alternate captain last year. Wolf spent 4 years in a UMD sweater. Last week, I had the privilege of sitting down with Mr. and Mrs. Wolf down in Eagan to reflect on their son's hockey career thus far.
Surreal is the only adjective that really comes to mind when I think about that. It's just, you know, we started playing in the driveway, and, you know, we still do, and we have a lot of holes in the walls out in the garage and dents all over the doors. I'm missing the net. I still can't, you know, you take that, the fact that he missed the net so much he's hitting the door on the side of it, and he made the NHL. That's a little mind-blowing. But you work hard, and, you know, hey, things happen.
People come up to me at hockey, at UMD, and have said that their kids want to be in hockey because of your son. And, you know, it's not about what he does out on the ice, it's what he does off the ice, I think is special.
We're going to have more with the Wolves tonight at 10. That's going to do it for sports for now. We'll be right back. Or Kristen and Tony, I'm going to send it back to you.
Yeah, we're not quite done yet, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, a former Duluth and Minnesota lawmaker is going to Italy to serve on a COVID-19 crisis communications response team. Roger Reiner, a member of the U.S. Navy, will be heading out on Monday. His goal will be to conduct strategic communication efforts supporting several different commands responding to the pandemic. Coming up tonight at 10, we will hear more from Reiner about his last-minute orders to serve on the task force and why he is the right man for the job.
All right, looking forward to that. Dave, sounds like you're tracking some weather moving in for the weekend, huh?
Yeah, we're tracking a Colorado low, and those are notorious for being moisture-laden. And so this low will dump a lot of moisture in our region tomorrow and Sunday. First rain, then a rain-snow mix, and finishing with snow that may add up to 3 to 6 inches for communities by Lake Superior and 1 to 3 perhaps for inland areas. By Monday, should be gone, should be warm, snow should melt.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Have a great weekend. It's